Hey YNR fans! Waving hand, welcome to YNR Trends, your go-to spot for the juiciest young and the restless updates, shocking spoilers, and all the drama you can't stop talking about. From surprise returns to scandalous twists, we break it all down for you, every day. So grab your coffee, hit that subscribe button, and let's dive right into Genoa City's hottest gossip. Adam told Chelsea in his office that the article about Aristotle Dumas being Cain Ashby, which was published by Newman Media, had gone viral on all of their social media channels. Chelsea questioned why Adam wasn't feeling happier. He told her that Billy is impacted by Chancellor Industries, which is mentioned in part of the Dumas piece. Chelsea admitted that Billy partially set a target on his back, Adam disclosed. Billy went inside and asked Adam if he should thank him for the article's hatchet job. Adam claimed to have been lenient with Billy. Billy emphasized that attacking Cain's character was careless and that he posed a threat. In order to convince Adam that he wasn't the enemy, Billy recruited Chelsea's help. Adam insisted that all of the information regarding Dumas and Billy in the article was accurate. "I was never up for the job," he informed Billy. Adam was urged to halt by Chelsea. Chelsea recommended that they go on. Billy admitted to Adam that he had no idea what he was facing. Adam had nothing to support his accusation that Billy was a noisy, yappy dog. Billy left. Adam told Chelsea he was sorry. Chelsea claimed that it was far from finished, but he responded that although Billy gets to him, he wasn't concerned about that jackass. Nick was treated to a treat at Crimson Lights by Sharon in the meantime. He stated that he knew her and that she knew him too well. Nick inquired as to Sharon's concerns regarding Mariah. Mariah must have arrived at work early, according to Sharon. She wanted to assist her, but Sharon told her that Mariah needed to be prepared. Nick told Sharon that he was supposed to buddy up with Cain to find out what he was up to in an attempt to lift her spirits. Sharon questioned whether Victor was genuinely concerned about Cain. According to Nick, his father had legitimate concerns. It astonished Sharon that anyone, even Cain, could scare the Newmans. She questioned whether Cain could actually take Chancellor Industries. Nick remarked that in addition to the Newmans, Cain also invited the Abbotts, Devon, and Lily. Nick was reminded by Sharon that fatalities occurred at the chateau. She questioned why Nick had to save the day every time. Sharon requested that Nick review the events of the previous year, including the kidnappings of her and Phyllis, as well as the deaths of Heather, Chance, and Damien. Nick pledged to use caution. Nick went on to say that he was doing it for Sharon as well as his parents. One of Cain's objectives might be Cassidy First. Given Cassidy First's substantial charitable contributions, Sharon noted that Cain would be facing a significant public relations challenge. According to Nick, Cain would need to go via him before pursuing Sharon's business. What had she done to deserve him, Sharon wondered. According to Nick, Cassie would be unhappy if a business using her name was allowed to continue. Sharon reported that simply sitting there and conversing with Nick was pleasant. Sharon remembered crying a much with Nick. She went on to say that she had forgotten how comfortable being around him felt. She also mentioned that she felt more connected to him than she had in a long time. Nick offered to show Sharon his solution or tell her. Adam and Chelsea arrived just as he was leaning in to kiss her, and they caught a glimpse of the close kiss. Nick and Sharon were updated on the Cain article by Chelsea and Adam. Nick revealed Victor's scheme to have Nick become intimate with Cain. Adam questioned why, if they were planning to form an alliance with Cain, they had published such a negative article on him. Victor, according to Nick, desired a good cop/bad cop relationship with Cain. Naturally, Adam said, he would be the evil cop. This wasn't a horrible idea, according to Sharon. Cain is not going anywhere, Nick remarked. Adam questioned Victor's reasoning for believing this would work. Chelsea claimed that she had had enough of worrying about Cain's activities. He should be concerned about them, she added. Following Nick's departure, Sharon told Chelsea and Adam that she had discussed Chance with Nina. Adam questioned the purpose of Chance's presence. Kane was afraid for his life, according to Sharon. Chelsea questioned whether Kane was being held responsible for Chance and Damien's passing. According to Sharon, Kane was unaware of his assistant's mental instability. Given that Kane lied to everyone, Adam questioned whether he was a little strange himself. Adam remarked, "The entire situation was just strange." Sharon agreed that it was strange to have to navigate a maze only to grab a drink or swim. There were also pleasant moments, she noted. Adam noticed that Sharon and Nick grew closer. Sharon expressed her desire for Nick to have the same happy ending as Adam and Chelsea. On the train in Genoa City, Kane promised Lily that if she helped spread the word about what he has been doing to their children, he would tell her of his plans. Lily requested candor. The beginning, middle, and finish were all contained in his declaration that Chancellor was what he wanted. Lily said that her ex was concealing something more significant. Lily stated that she has no problem with seeing Victor and Nikki receive their just desserts, but she was curious about what else Kane want. If he wasn't honest with her, she threatened to give Charlie and Maddie the whole truth. Kane was shocked to learn that Lily would use Maddie and Charlie against him. The children were not allowed, Kane reminded them. That was prior to him reintroducing Colin into their lives, according to Lily. Lily remembered Colin's attempt to abduct their children. Kane noted that Colin had passed away. Lily was concerned about Kane being influenced by Colin. She insisted that she didn't know Kane's entire tale. Lily was never a pushover in Kane's opinion. That's how she thought he treated her. Lily declared that she would not reconsider. Either she speaks to the children by herself, or he informs her what he's doing. Lily doesn't believe that Kane lied about his identity in order to keep his children safe. When they met with Charlie and Maddie, Kane volunteered to share his plans with Lily. "It's no agreement," Lily said. Kane asked Lily if there was anything he could do to make her reconsider. He emphasized that she was the reason he had become so ruthless. "You simply won't give up, will you?" Lily inquired about Kane's attempts to use their prior relationship. It was a fantasy, Lily informed him, that they would reunite. Kane promised Lily that he loved her and that if she returned to him, he would abandon his whole plan. Then, just as Kane received a text from Amanda, Lily received one from Devon. Adam's narrative that Kane was Dumas was the subject of the writings. According to Lily, a news website would inform Maddie and Charlie that Kane was Dumas. She is angry because they failed their children. "I'll take the hit," Kane said. Lily told the children that Kane needed to talk to them about something. Kane stated that he had no justification and would not provide their children with one. He wanted her to assist Lily in containing the damage. She stated that she would, but with one crucial stipulation. He had to abandon his schemes against the Abbotts, Winters, and Newmans. She will then assist him with their children. Victoria apologized to Billy for the hit piece in the meanwhile. He declared that he would not hold her accountable for the actions of Adam and Victor. Adam found it strange that they pursued Kane. Vicky claimed that the children were writing without their phones. Billy claimed to be all right. Vicky wondered about Billy's disposition. Billy mentioned over a drink that Cole was the reason he was concerned about Victoria. He claimed that after speaking with the children, they told him that Vicky was taking care of them and Claire, which was her busy thing. Billy inquired as to Vicky's conversation partner. "Adam and Chelsea have been excellent," Vicky stated. Billy had doubts about Adam's sympathy. "I will always be there for Victoria," he added. She remembered one of Cole's final days in the intensive care unit, when he was fading and told a nurse that Vicky and Claire were among the luckiest guys in the world. Billy was invited by Victoria to stay or search the grounds for the children. Billy declared that he would remain where he was in order to stay away from Victor and or Nick. Vicky was shocked to learn of Billy and Nick's troubles. Victoria inquired about her ex's involvement with Kane's firm. Billy ducked. When Nick arrived at Kane's train, Kane claimed to be having a private moment with Lily. According to Nick, he was there to express regret for the story about him in Newman Media. Kane had doubts. Nick stated that Victor and he were aware of the piece, but they hoped he would ignore it. Given that his security team had locked him up, Kane was taken aback when Nick arrived to visit him. Kane pondered whether Nick was trying to be helpful. Nick claimed that he and Lily were friends and that he and Kane had never been enemies. Kane insisted, "I don't want to go to war with anyone." Lily revealed that she was receiving a call from Maddie. After asking Kane to join him for a drink, Nick departed. Then Maddie gave another call. Lily asked Kane for a response before picking up. Lily told her former partner, "That ball is in your court." Nick had not anticipated how the evening would unfold. It began simply, almost unremarkable, as if fate itself had been attempting to hide what was about to happen. He was back at Sharon's house, which he knew very well yet which always felt strange when he walked in. He couldn't get rid of the weight that held heartache, history, and an unspoken comfort that seemed to be in the air. A box containing Faith's old belongings that had been in his trunk for weeks was all he was meant to deliver. That was the strategy. No more, no less. However, he persisted. She noticed that he had been standing in her doorway for a bit too long. She was continually aware of the changes in his energy and the thickening of the quiet between them. He could have refused, but he nodded and followed Sharon inside when she offered him tea, as she often did when she knew he was restless. The warmth of the house came from the memories it held, not the weather. Every place carried a relic of their common history, whether it was a late-night tear, a kiss, an argument, or a little of laughing. Nick saw that he was looking at the family pictures that Sharon still had on display. Their children grinning, moments captured in time, a reminder of all they have lost and all they have created. Sharon noticed that he was staring, but she remained silent. She was not required to. They had both learned to let silence do the talking. She set the tea in front of him and sat across from him, her gaze gentle but wary, as if she didn't know what was going on here other than that something was changing. At first, they discussed safe topics like Mariah's stubbornness, Noah's most recent endeavors, and Faith's grades. These were the topics they could trust, the things that held them together without bringing up too many memories. But gradually, their voices grew softer and their words heavier as the minutes passed. Nick acknowledged that he was sick of arguing with others around him and of being the person that everyone turned to for help. When he came to Sharon with issues he didn't know how to solve as a child, she listened to him intently, just like she always had. For a minute, it seemed as if the years had vanished as she assured him she understood and that she had experienced the same thing numerous times. They were simply Nick and Sharon once more, not ex-partners, co-parents, or two individuals with damaged choices. Unsure of what to do with the flood of emotions that was seeping into his chest, Nick leaned back and brushed his hand across the chair's arm. Sharon became aware, but rather than stepping back, she moved in closer and spoke in that softer tone that always got to him. She inquired about his well-being. Though his eyes betrayed him, he nodded. She maintained eye contact with him, and the silence encircled them once more, but this time it was charged rather than heavy. It had life. He was the first to sense the pull and the abrupt realization of how familiar and yet deadly she was. Sharon had the same thing, her breath caught, and she opened her mouth to speak, but nothing came out. Unaware that his hand had touched hers on the table, Nick moved forward, elbows resting on his knees. Even if it may have been a mistake, the slightest touch gave them both a start. Sharon did not retreat. It just took a moment for the room to shift because she allowed it to linger for too long. Nick's chest constricted, and for the first time in a long time, he was focused on being with her right now, without worrying about the future or what other people might think. Slowly, almost against their will, their bodies leaned toward one another as their eyes connected once more. It was quiet and methodical, as if the cosmos had been waiting for them to cross this invisible boundary. It wasn't theatrical or hurried. Sharon's heart was pounding. She was aware that this was risky ground. She had repeatedly vowed to herself that she would not revert to her old habits and that she and Nick would be better friends and co-parents. However, he was in close enough proximity for her to notice the gold specks in his eyes and sense the warmth emanating from him. For a while, she was that girl again, caught up in something greater than herself, recalling how young and careless they had been the first time they had kissed. Before the memory returned to reality, she could practically taste it. With his lips inches from hers and his breath blending with hers, Nick cocked his head slightly. There was no longer any drama, no Victor, no Phyllis, no Adam, no Genoa City, and no instability in the outside world. This was all there was, the brink of something familiar and frightening, something that could either mend them or shatter them again. Sharon's lips quivered, not because of fear, but rather from the intense want for something she wasn't sure she should have. Her hand landed softly on his arm almost reflexively, and that one touch almost brought him to his knees. A sound then broke the spell as their lips were just about to meet for a kiss. It was enough, the house creaking, the unexpected tremor from Nick's phone on the table. Between what they knew they shouldn't do and what they were going to do, they both froze. Nick took a small step back, his gaze still fixed on hers, sorrow and desire all at once. Sharon struggled to steady her voice as she let out a shaky breath and moved her palm away from his arm. Perhaps now wasn't the proper moment, she muttered. Nick gave a nod, but neither of them took it seriously. In actuality, there would never be a right time. Instead, there would always be unfiltered, risky moments like this one that would tempt them to over the line once more. The actual near kiss is a masterwork of subdued narrative. The near kiss lives in a liminal space, a tempting and frustrating moment of possibility, in contrast to a genuine kiss, which would cement their romantic bond. The scene's emotional impact is greatly increased by the way it is framed. A sensation of intimacy and tension is created by close-ups of their features, their hesitancy while moving, and their nearly undetectable lean toward one another before pulling away. The moment's rawness might be heightened by the quiet or the subdued background music, or lack thereof, making their unmet need more apparent. If there is any discussion, it would be brief yet impactful, with the subtext conveying more information than the words themselves. Because of this restraint, the spectator is left wanting a resolution, which makes the near kiss more impactful than a full-fledged romantic encounter. Equally important is the interruption that keeps the kiss from happening. The interruption provides a narrative function, whether it be an internal revelation, one of them pulling away out of shame or dread, or an external incident, a phone call, someone entering the room. It ensures that their relationship stays unresolved and open to further investigation by extending the tension. This disruption may also represent the barriers they face, such as unresolved past traumas, professional boundaries, or personal fears. Therefore, despite their obvious connection, the near kiss becomes a symbol for their incapacity to properly connect. The emotional fallout occurs in the aftermath of the near kiss. Much about Nick and Sharon's personalities may be inferred from their responses to this situation. Do they confront it head-on or do they withdraw into uncomfortable quiet? Is one left yearning while the other acts as if it never happened? Their encounters after that could get more tense or, on the other hand, more intense with unsaid yearning. They might be forced to face their emotions and the possible repercussions of acting on them as a result of the near kiss, which could serve as a catalyst for introspection. This moment may intensify the internal conflict, making subsequent interactions more complex and heated if their relationship is complicated by outside issues, such as other romantic entanglements or professional duties. From a narrative standpoint, the near kiss fulfills several purposes. By hinting at a romance that doesn't immediately materialize, it increases viewer interest in Nick and Sharon's connection. This keeps viewers interested and curious about if and when the tension will be released. Additionally, it gives both characters more emotional depth by highlighting their weaknesses and making them more relatable. Because it dwells in the domain of what could have been, a near kiss frequently leaves a lasting impression on the viewer, making it more memorable than an actual kiss. The story's overarching themes, such lost chances, the brittleness of human connection, or the conflict between duty and desire, may be connected to the near kiss. This scene emphasizes how internal or external factors can break even the strongest emotional bonds if the story deals with issues of fate and timing. On the other hand, if the narrative is about personal development, the near kiss might be a pivotal moment where one or both characters have to choose between staying in their comfort zones or taking emotional chances. In summary, Nick and Sharon's close kiss is a well-written scene that functions on several levels, including thematic, narrative, and emotional. It leaves a deep impression on the characters and the viewer by encapsulating their relationship in a single, intense moment. We may see how this moment serves as a microcosm of their dynamic, replete with desire, hesitancy, and untapped potential, by examining the build-up, the scene, and its aftermath. Regardless of whether it ends in romance or stays a bittersweet almost, its importance comes from its capacity to evoke strong feelings and narrative tension without the necessity for a clear conclusion. The near kiss is one of the most powerful and poignant scenes in narrative because it exists in the realm of possibility.